Alrighty everyone, we're back with that new One Punch Man Sweet and Sour Chicken. Dude, this was the funniest chapter I have ever read out of One Punch Man. I couldn't stop laughing. It is absolutely hysterical. The writing, the comedy is just off the charts in this chapter. But we get way more than that. We get Saitama vs. Cruel Dragon. So this was a very big event that happened in the webcomic, and there's been a ton of theories about it. Is it supposed to be God in the One Punch Man manga? No, it's not. It actually, Cruel Dragon was adapted. Those cubes have nothing to do with the God cubes. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. We get this absolutely hysterical moment between Flashy Flash and Genos and Saitama. Dude, I can't wait to go over this with you guys. Like, I can't wait to see this animated with the voice actors because it's so damn funny. Like, every page just made me laugh over and over again. Probably my favorite chapter since the Garo arc ended. We're gonna jump in just a second. This video is sponsored by the hit mobile game with over 80 million players, Raid Shadow Legends. The Dark Lord Searoth invades the realm of Teleria, and as one of the long-dead Telerian warriors, it's up to you to stop it. Progress through dungeons and battle powerful bosses to strengthen your team through leveling up and unique items. The end game is called Doom Tower. It's a giant prison full of the strongest bosses in the game. Time's running out for you to play the legendary new champion, Sun Wukong. He's free and he's absolutely bananas in both PvP and PvE. So you won't want to miss out on adding this prime primate to your champion collection. Simply log into Raid for 7 days between now and October 23rd, and you'll have this Monkey King at your beck and call. New players will have a chance to get one of the best epic champions in the game, Stag Knight, as well as a new skin for him designed by JonTron himself. Just use the promo code JTSkin before October 17th. Also, if you click my link or scan the QR code you're seeing right here, you'll get a free starter pack with this cool in-game loot. So just hit my link in the description and I'll see you on the battlefield. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the cover page. We got Mosquito Girl on here again, although she's not in this chapter, but you know, as you guys remember, just a few chapters ago, this is the Mosquito Girl that Saitama appeared to have killed in episode 2. She's still alive. She's reformed her ways. She just has to take these daily injections of vitamin D. And the chapter opens up with this montage of Saitama just fighting all these like super powerful monsters and enemies. This guy kind of looks like King if he was a monster. Like if King ate a monster cell, I feel like this is how he would actually look. He says, "I'll show you the power of the dragon blood." So they're introducing us to the Cruel Dragon kind of side story here. And we get all these really cool shots of Saitama fighting these powerful Dragon Clan monsters, and they're all just getting one shot. "You defeated one of the 9 warriors of the Dragon Alliance, Rangor, with a single punch? Unbelievable. You really saved us there, Mr. Strong Passerby. Could I have your name?" "Oh, I'm Saitama, but the seal stone wasn't stolen, all thanks to you. The seal of the Cruel Dragon has been protected by the actions of Saitama. Your heroic tale will remain in the footnotes of history. According to the legend, a colossal dragon once descended upon the earth and became the embodiment of destruction. In just a few days, it took countless lives and scorched all the land. As a result of its actions, it became known as the Cruel Dragon. Ancient soldiers gathered together and with many great sacrifices managed to weaken the Cruel Dragon. Sealing orbs scattered the dragon's key into 9 stones and sealed them in shrines in various places. The duty of the watching over the Cruel Dragon seals was passed to our branch known as the Saints. Those who believe themselves to be dragonborn are plotting to revive the sealed Cruel Dragon belonging to the organization known as Deathbone." So the Deathbone, I believe, are just like some humans who revere these Dragon Clan, and they're trying to collect all the stones to release the Cruel Dragon once again. This has been taking place for 800 years. These saints have been fighting the Deathborn, and Saitama had just randomly showed up to save the day. So they capture one of the Deathbone, and he's talking about the resurrection of this Cruel Dragon, and it's coming soon, and Saitama's like, "Well, when soon? Is it 10 years, 100 years? Why don't we just get it over with? Summon the guy and I'll just beat him right now." And like everybody freaks out, obviously for good reason, especially 800 years of stories about this world-ending Cruel Dragon. You could assume that Cruel Dragon is a god level threat or perhaps an above dragon level threat. I mean, if he can wipe out the entire earth, that's pretty damn impressive. So Saitama just straight up grabs this guy and takes him with him, says, show me the way. They're gonna go around the land, collecting these cubes, killing monsters that get in their way, like this dragon ninja guy gets in his way, gets one shot, and then they've collected all the Dragon Balls, I mean the cubes. Kind of looks like the Shenlong summoning here. It's actually kind of cool. The time has finally come. The hatred I have accumulated over the years will be repaid with the lives of all humanity. Take a look at this double page spread. Hoo-wee. This is beautiful. I mean, yes, he looks powerful and scary and crazy, but I love the whole composition. Just the way that Saitama's standing there in that position so much in this chapter. It's just like that impenetrable stance that can never be defeated. You know what I mean? When Saitama stands like that, you're pretty much fucked. Be gone, he says, and he shoots out his crazy laser beam, and Saitama one-shots the Cruel Dragon. So this, I feel like, you know, it could have been a whole arc. It's crazy that, like, you know, he fit this whole story into just half a chapter. But it's exciting. I mean, at least we got some action. We got this, you know, big reveal, a whole bunch of monsters and powerful looking enemies and stuff in this chapter. But, you know, as One Punch Man, Cruel Dragon got one punched. And as usual, Saitama goes home to play video games with King, which they've been playing a lot of video games lately. And as they're playing, they start to hear some rumbling outside, in which it's Flashy Flash. If you didn't know, he's my favorite character in One Punch Man, next to Blast and Saitama, obviously. He's fast and cool and strong, and I want Soren from Demon Rush to be like him. So basically, Flashy Flash is looking for Monako, which we actually saw recently as King went on his little training session. We saw a silhouette of Monako, so he is still around. And Flashy Flash, as well as some of the other S-Class heroes like Zombie Man, are looking for more information about God. And Flashy Flash believes that Monako has this information, so he wants to go over and get Saitama, and they'll go search for him together. Flashy Flash saying, if you're useful enough, you could become my disciple, and Saitama just slams the door on him. So funny. You could become my disciple. Obviously, Saitama doesn't want to be Flashy Flash's disciple, but Flashy Flash is a super powerful S-rank hero who believes that Saitama's potential is unbelievable, but he has like no martial arts or really skills to use that potential. So in this chapter, Flashy Flash wants to take Saitama under his wing to essentially teach him martial arts. But we know that Saitama doesn't need martial arts because this was already taught to us by the battle between Saitama and Garo. Garo was the master of martial arts. He developed a martial art so powerful that he literally could turn back time, and Saitama still could beat him. So as much as Saitama doesn't really have the raw technique of a martial artist or, you know, one of these other S-rank heroes, he doesn't need it, because for one, he's invincible, and two, he's just insanely strong. And even if somehow you're able to match his strength or be stronger than him or faster than him, he has this exponential growth potential where he will just catch up to you and then surpass you like crazy, eventually winning the fight. So Flashy Flash says, you can be my disciple, and Saitama just slams the door on his face. This is where it gets really funny because Genos, who's next door, squatting in this tiny little apartment, pokes his ear out. He's like, disciple? I just like started laughing hysterically. And King's like, who was that? Why'd you shut the door? And Saitama said, he seemed annoying. And that's when Genos comes out of his room and he starts arguing with Flashy Flash, and King and Saitama are inside like listening to this whole thing go down. It's so freaking funny, man. He's like, why are you in Master's room? If you have something to say, then say it to me, and keep it concise to 20 words or less. Flashy Flash responds with, why should I tell you my matters? And Geno says, if you don't accept the conditions, get out. You don't deserve an audience with him. Flashy Flash saying, I don't need your permission. And Geno's responding with, are you gonna force your way through that door? All of a sudden, they start hearing all this rumbling, and Saitama says, ah, shit, here we go. I really like the dialogue and translations here, like Saitama like cursing just a tiny bit. Like, it feels like he's more of like a normal person. When King was asking Saitama, how do I get stronger? And Saitama says, dude, just lift. Like, those like little things really make me fall even more in love with his character, just because it's like, it's easier to sympathize with him when he kind of conveys your own language. So Saitama pokes his head out and asks them to stop. They're having this crazy ninja battle and everything. So they stop fighting. Flashy Flash calls Genos a damn dog. And Genos is like, Master Saitama, you're an acquaintance of this guy? Well, yeah, I guess you can call it that. I guess he never told Genos that anything about God. Going with Flashy Flash underground in the Monster Association tunnels and literally communicating with the monster god himself. Saitama, I guess he's just too clueless to say anything, so he didn't say anything, but obviously Flashy Flash, this whole chapter, you know, this whole point of this is imperative is that he wants to go after and find more information about God. To me, that's exciting because you have to remember God is he's not necessarily a manga specific character, but we only got like one panel of him in the webcomic, and that was for like the Homeless Emperor thing, or maybe it was a couple panels, but it's not embellished. God is not embellished like it is here in the manga, and God is exciting. Because that's the challenge for Saitama, that's what everyone wants to see. So whenever we find out more information about God, or the characters are pursuing information about God, it gets me excited, because we're leading to that, you know, grand treasure that we've all been waiting for, man. Saitama versus God at the end of the series. God, that's just gonna like change, revolutionize like anime and manga forever, dude. Like, Saitama versus God will be like one of the most hype anime moments ever. Ever. So now Flashy Flash is playing this game with Saitama, because Saitama's like, oh, that's right, Genos, let me introduce you to, I forgot your name. King is gonna tell Saitama what his name is, but Flashy Flash is like, nah, don't tell him. People like him won't learn unless they figure it out on their own. Clavicle smash! So, look at Flashy Flash's face, dude. And Genos like close enough, because they hate each other. Like, it's so hilarious to me, like, how overprotective Genos is of Saitama. The dichotomy between these two characters is just, like, pretty unparalleled in a lot of manga. So Flashy Flash forces his way into Saitama's house, and he says, King and Genos, you have to leave. Genos, the dog, can go sit over there. And we get this really cool picture of Flashy Flash drinking some tea, who says, Saitama, you should become my disciple. I saw when you were underground, your athletic abilities overflow with potential, but at the moment, you're not even making use of half of that potential in battle. If guided, who knows how much stronger you could grow. And then Genos pokes his head out of like a freaking dog door, and Saitama like flips out. He's like, don't make peeping holes in my door, like my house. Like, what are you doing? So the plan here is to find Monako and get the information. Saitama's like, what do you want me to do? Rough it up? And Flashy Flash is like, no, we just need like a couple more pieces of information, and if we can find those, we could be able to uncover the secret of this god, a secret so big it could shake the ground under our very feet. So we know there's a god in the moon, we know there's a god in some other dimension, and there's probably a god out in space somewhere fighting against Blast and his whole galactic crew of S-rank heroes. Unless those are all the same god and there's some explanation where he's kind of like only like half sealed and like half out or something like that. We know that there's these cubes that allow you to communicate with God, and Blast goes around, has been collecting them for like 20 years. And we know that the Hero Association, the top people in it, know a lot more about Blast and God than they've really let us on. How Blast, he came in contact with God 2 years ago, but he's been chasing him for 20 years. So something to do with the cubes and sealing God. This big secret is gonna come eventually, but we haven't got the secret in the webcomic. It probably won't be for a while, honestly, but at least we're getting some more about God. As long as the focus is God, or Blast, like, I'm gonna be happy reading the chapter. So Flashy Flash says, come with me, Caped Baldy, I'll train you to be stronger. And Saitama finally gets up and follows him out the door, and then closes the door right behind him. Dude, I was like, literally like tears coming like as I was reading this. I mean, it's so funny, man. Just like this dude got stuffed by the door twice in one chapter. It's hilarious. And so Flashy Flash has had enough. He's fed up and he kicks the door through and he says, fight a match with me, Saitama. I'll make you realize just how inexperienced you currently are. So I'm not going to spoil what happens in the fight. You can read it in the webcomic if you want, but it's going to be juicy and fun and funny. Unfortunately, still no word on the One Punch Man Season 3 or the movie yet. I'm still hoping that they'll hire me to play Saitama in the movie. Boys, do your work. I'm Mastar. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up to help me with the algorithm, and I will see you soon for some more One Punch Man.